How are you today?
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
yeah, fine, Shake, fine. Mm.
so in our
So,
conversation today about mathematics, spirituality, like we discussed,
mhm, mhm,
I'm hoping to get your opinion about my work with creative math, real life mathematics, and we will hopefully discuss, touch upon five things: cycles,
mhm, mhm,
balance,
mhm,
rational, irrational,
mhm.
dimensions, and time,
Yeah.
and open ended conversation. So,
Mhm,
let me start with the cycles bit. Like I teach my students that trigonometric functions are cycles, and the ratio 3 is to 2 is called the perfect fifth, which is part of a cycle of circle of the fifth in music. So please, if you can talk to me and showcase to the world your idea of cycles.
uh, I can just talk from spiritual point of view. I think I have not so much knowledge about mathematically knowledge. I don't have so much. I think all the nature is in cyclic way. I feel like that. Like if we look at our life from birth to death, and then again we are reborn again. So this is all cyclic, and I think all the nature, it works in cyclic nature. And like if you maybe some to some cycles it takes little time, and some uh, to some cycles it may have a longer span of time. But it is no doubt it is all nature behaves in a cyclic nature. They have It has a cyclic nature, you can say it.
True. I was telling one of my students yesterday or day before about the cosmic year, about how the sun moves around the black hole in the galaxy, and that is a cosmic year. Something about 234 million years
Mm,
versus a year which is only 365 days, where the sun, Earth moves
mm,
around the sun. So,
mm.
one, you were talking about big cycles, small cycles, and
Yeah, like if you in our scriptures, in Hindu scriptures especially, if you look at the Kali Yuga, Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga. So four yugas we have, and four yugas come again and again. It is like a cycle of yugas is repeated again and again. So it's very true that this nature has a cyclic uh, nature. This nature behaves in a cyclic manner. So all our lifestyle, all our whatever we see or look, so it is all, yeah, it seems to have a cyclic nature. No doubt about it.
I have read in other holy books also about how being raised up from uh, the dead, we are brought into account for our actions, and how we reap the rewards of what we do. In some sense, in a cyclic way, that's my understanding. But balance. Now, there is a module in my creative math called cardiovascular mathematics where I talk about
Mhm.
pressures that the heart goes through, and a certain balance it needs to maintain. If you can please talk about balance.
Yeah, balance. If you talk about balance in life, actually, from spiritual point of view, mostly we talk about equanimity of mind or balance of mind. So, if our actions are balanced, then our mind would automatically be in equanimity or in balance, state of balanced state of action, you balanced state of mind, you can say.
State of being,
So
yes.
yeah, state of being. Sorry. So I think our actions they decide how our mind will behave. So, however, our actions are so from balance. Yesterday we little bit talked about it. So I was trying to say that if our um, lifestyle is balanced, means if we have balance between enjoyment and the work we do, so if there is a balance, perfect balance, are very close to the perfect, so our mind and behavior will also be balanced, and we will be in equanimity, we will be in peace of mind. But these days what is happening around in the world, that we have so many pleasures all around. So we, when we enjoy pleasures, we uh, can't imagine how big it is and what the cost it may take from us. So it is very important that if you are enjoying so many pleasures around you, so you should also work up to that extent to balance it, to make your life balanced. So that is the mm, essence
Absolutely.
of yoga or spiritual practices. All pleasures are to be enjoyed, no doubt. We all these pleasures we have to enjoy, and but at the same time we have to pay the cost of every pleasure. So that's why a balance is required. If there is no balance in your lifestyle, in your working style, so many complications may arise. For example, your health complications, your mind will be disturbed, and so many other worries may arise in your mind. Unnecessary worries may arise in your mind. So
So
in
if
our
I can
spiritual.
interrupt you, so if I
Mhm.
can interrupt you, Vivek sir,
Yes.
uh, my understanding of what you're saying is that uh, even when we enjoy the pleasures of what the world has to offer, there has to
Mhm.
be some sense of doing good work, in some sense of contributing. So I teach kids, teens and tweens, teenagers and little younger than teens, and the attitude I try to inculcate in them, the attitude I try to nurture is that contribution and collaboration are very important. And
Mhm.
my understanding is that this is, in some sense, what you are saying about enjoying the pleasures of the world and also giving back and staying
Mhm.
connected in a way, because everything is, in some sense, connected to one. What do you say, sir?
Yeah, I just mean to say that yeah, we are uh, in this world. Nothing is free of cost actually. So we have to pay. If you pay yourself by your work and labor, it is the best way to pay. Otherwise, nature will take from you the cost of it. So cost of every pleasure is we have no idea what is the cost actually. So when we
So true.
enjoy different pleasures, we have no idea that what would be the cost. So we have to balance it, or we have to um, judge ourselves continuously, that what we are doing, and if we are mm, paying the cost, or if we are yeah, neutralizing it.
Yeah. So there is one ratio called the golden ratio, which I keep mentioning in my classes when I get the chance. The golden ratio is an irrational number, 1.618, and it keeps non-repeating, non-terminating. So on those lines, from irrational to rational, from balance, how much of life is rational, sir? How much of life do you feel is just explainable and how much of it is just irrational. It's just not possible to articulate.
Yeah, it is actually very difficult to explain. Mm, in some way, it seems to be rational. In some ways, it also seems to be irrational. Yeah, it is. Every person has own definitions, on perceptions about life. Uh, so life is a mystery. I think it is very deep mystery. So you can't have any fixed formula for this life. I think it is my opinion about life. You can't explain it in just few words, few formulas. There is no formula, it seems to me,
Tell us
for the
about
life.
higher dimensions. Tell us about higher dimensions. I tell my students equation of a straight line is a linear equation, and from that I go to perpendicular lines as planes, and then three dimensions and straight lines dimensions. Tell us about more than space, what higher dimensions can manifest here.
uh, I, frankly speaking, I don't have so much knowledge about dimensions, but in our spiritual world, in our scriptures, it has been mentioned at many places that this whole world is full of God particles or energy, super consciousness. So even the hills or stars, they have different kind of life they have. So every particle, every substance which we look or can feel, it has some kind of dimension, its own dimension, and it has own life, on energy, own kind of lifestyle, you can say, which is very difficult to understand. Um, that's why in India we see that hills are very revered here. They are worshipped. Even rivers are worshipped. Sun we worship, moon, and so many other stars we worship. So there are very different dimensions of life. Are very. Uh, it's a vast subject. I think.
Correct. But
I
like you said, they are all connected. The God particle, which was discovered by proof a few years ago, the Higgs boson, and something that connects everything makes me happy. It brings a smile to my face. And but I think the most what can I say? If I was a teenager, I would say crazy thing about life is time. Uh,
mm,
how with time comes from cycles. Some of my students I teach about Einstein's theory of relativity, where the
mm.
faster you move, the slower time moves, and things like dual nature of light, and but time, how it's so wow, how gravity is curvature of space time.
Yeah, mm.
Tell us,
Yeah, it
what
is.
tell us.
Y- yeah, it is very interesting subject, actually. Time. If you look at the mosquito's life, for example, mosquito is just a very tiny insect, and it has just 3 or 4 days lifespan. So, but in 3 or 4 days lifespan, it experiences the time like we experience in 100 years, like 80 or 100 years, as we experience in whole lifetime. So time is a very interesting subject, as Einstein also said that when the things move faster, then the time goes slow, uh,
That's
according
beautiful.
to. So it is very we see that many plants have like they have huge life. Like we have more than 5,000 or 10,000 years older plants here.
Yeah,
So
like the one in Cambodia, a good word.
yeah, Hmm. So what I feel that it is time is very, uh, it is very subjective to the creatures or lives. How much you experience time is uh, whatever you realize. For example, in samadhi, if I talk about like meditation, samadhi, in samadhi,
Please go on.
if any person if any person goes in the state of samadhi, for example, so he may not experience even a single second has passed in 1000 years or several thousand years if he is in the state of samadhi, because he doesn't realize anything. So time comes from, I think it is a realization. It is, and every creature, every whatever form of life we see on this earth, it is the time what we realize is different to different species, different to different minds. So it is very interesting. uh, the God has made this time is very very special, I think. um, so yeah, it is a very
Hopefully we have
beautiful.
more time together. So hopefully, if the response for this video is good, we will make more videos, Vivek sir.
Yeah,
I'm
hopefully.
hopefully.
uh,
Hopefully. So I'm going to
hopefully.
disconnect for now. I'm